Hi, my name's Derek Jenkins, and I'm the Director of Design for Mazda North America. We're here today at the R&D Design Facility in Irvine, California for Mazda Motorsports Day, and we've got a collection of what I would consider significant race, motorsports, and custom vehicles on display, starting with this 79 RX-7 race car. This is the first generation RX-7, and this car was really significant for Mazda because although it wasn't the first rotary vehicle or even the first rotary sports car, it was really the first mainstream sports car that Mazda had the rotary engine in. This particular version of the car I really like because first of all, I really like this body style. You know, the cabin's really compact and pushed to the rear of the car. But more importantly, in the race trim, we have these really exaggerated fender flares, the lower diffuser on the car, really fat 70s style race tires, and big spoiler in the rear, and of course is great green 70s green graphics. Just really exaggerate the car, and so this is really one of my personal favorites. So next up we have 787B. This car is significant because it's one of the three vehicles that raced in 1991 Le Mans, 24-hour Le Mans in France. We of course won that year. We're the only Japanese manufacturer to ever win a 24-hour race, and it's the only time a rotary engine has won that race. And this is one of the actual race cars from that race. We restored this car here at the Design Center, gone through the entire car. It sees the track at least a couple of times each year, and I can tell you from my own experience, the sound from this vehicle, from this rotary engine, is unbelievable. It's just absolutely shocking. But I also really like the proportion of this car. If you come around the side here, you can see how dramatic this car is. Very low slung. It has a really long front overhang and virtually no rear overhang. And the smaller wheel up front and a really large diameter wheel in the rear just makes the car very dramatic on the track. And it's really also one of my personal favorite vehicles, and probably one of the most significant race cars in Mazda's history. Here we have an example of our later series RX-7 IMSA race car. This car I just love the later RX-7s, and this car is interesting because it's heavily modified. So much of the bodywork has been modified that you can barely tell that the body side is even an RX-7, but somehow the cabin is distinctive enough and it still maintains that classic RX-7 look. And this car of course has the really nice white and blue graphics, again very kind of 80s style, but is a really good example of our RX-7 racing pedigree. So here we have a little smaller, more accessible example of our motorsports effort. This here is an example of the Mazda 2 B-Spec concept vehicles. We did this car for SEMA to kind of show what a full-blown Mazda 2 race vehicle could look like, and this actually led to the development of the full B-Spec series that is still ongoing today. And then you can see to my left here an example of the actual car that's had some serious track time, and you can see there's more than a few battle scars on this car, but these cars are a blast to drive when they're set up for track use like this one. I think it's fair to say that Mazda would not be Mazda without motorsports and without racing, and we couldn't possibly go racing if we didn't have the MX-5. You know, starting in 1989 with the first gen through the second gen, third gen, these have all been really fundamental to our racing efforts. Here we have our kind of factory car Spec series MX-5. You know, these are a blast to drive. I've personally taken these on the track, and they're a lot of fun, and I think it's what is really at the core of kind of Mazda DNA, fun to drive, cars for, that are accessible but still truly outstanding both on the road and on the track. Next to this car you can see that how we take the inspiration of motorsports a step further. This is the Super 25. We kind of took this car, which is a Spec series car, we just did it up a little bit further with 25-hour lighting up front and the hard top, and of course the Volk racing wheels. We showed this car in SEMA last year, 2012. You know, so the whole motorsports aesthetic for Mazda is also ongoing. That's one of the things that we do in design, is try to just come up with a graphic language, colors, and finishes that will look good both on our track vehicles and then translate that hopefully into things like special models and accessory programs that you can see on the street in the future. This is our latest and greatest. This project brings us right up to date. It's based on our all-new Mazda 6, and this is for Rolex GT series. It'll be the first diesel car in its class, and it'll be the first diesel car for Mazda, period. In this car, the engine is very, very closely tied to the production car. We're really excited about this car. We did the body work here at the design center, did all the modifications. The car's a lot lower and a lot wider. Obviously has a lot of aerodynamic enhancements that are critical to being competitive in the series. And so far the car's going on to its third race, and each race we're getting better and better, and we have no doubt that it's going to be a big competitor and a big push forward for Mazda Motorsports. So it's not often that we get to have visitors like this at the design center. It's been an honor to walk you guys through some of our key products. So thanks for popping by my office, and we'll see you next time.